Hello, everybody. Welcome to SBL Week 6 Match of the Week. This week we've got a great match for you. It's going to be Cyb3r versus Ulico, two of our best players. And my name is Saget, and I'm joined by Satan.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. We're going to go ahead and get into the teams here. First up, we've got Cyb3r. He's gone with a very standard Rillaboom set here. Assault Vest, Fake Out, Woodhammer, and Grassy Glide. And then, of course, the high horsepower for coverage with the Cyb3r. Good for dodging burns and just fire moves in general. And then you've got Moltres, a Pokemon I'm very familiar with the Clear Amulet. Other than that, it's a pretty standard look, but Clear Amulet's kind of interesting, maybe trying to avoid an Eerie Impulse or Icy Wind. Cyb3r with the Unburden and the Grassy Seed. So pretty typical combination there. No Fake Out this week. He's been running Fake Out a lot so far this season, but pretty normal other than that. Dire Claw and Close Combat. And then the new addition to this team with Iron Moth, opting for the Power Herb over the Booster Energy with Meteor Beam and Heat Wave and Psychic. No Poison Stab. And then Scarf Wordier, kind of an interesting little set there with no stab option, other than maybe Psyshield Bash. I forget if Wordier's part Psychic, I think it is, but no normal stab. Looks like it's there for some very specific matchup checks. And then the redirection with the Rocky Helmet in the form of Pachirisu, with that always being a good option in front of Urshifu. So yeah, this team's very scary. I mean, you've got kind of a big four there with Pachirisu. He's definitely gone very top-heavy this season.
Yeah, the Pachirisu looks to be a very nice counter to Adrian's team, to Ulico's team, should we see it in the match.
Yeah, definitely good at checking both Urshifu and Raichu, and those are two very prominent parts of Ulico's team.
Yes, and now we have Ulico's team. Of course, Urshifu Rapid Strike being his signature Pokemon so far in the Draft League, with a very standard Mystic Water set running Surging Strikes, Close Combat, Aqua Jet. Terra Steel is very interesting, looking to resist the grass moves, most likely from Rillaboom, as well as any flying moves from Galarian Moltres. Next, we have Glimmora running another fairly standard set with the Payapa Berry, which is very interesting. Looking to resist some sort of psychic move, most likely from the Weirder, or maybe a coverage move from Iron Moth. The Iron Jugulus, once again coming in as a support Pokemon with Tailwind and Snarl. Surprisingly, no Dark Pulse, which is mostly the standard thing to run, although Cyb3r, of course, doesn't have many Dark weak Pokemon. Next is the Raichu, another very standard support set with Fake Out, Volt Switch, Nuzzle. Most likely going to be coming in to get Ulico in a good position and then switching out into another support Pokemon or hard hitter. And speaking of hard hitters, next we have a Choice Scarf Typhlosion Hisui with, of course, the wonderful stab move of Eruption, which can just nuke a team in seconds. And then lastly, Serena running the Assault Vest. Pretty standard coverage moveset over here with Power Whip and Triple Axle. Knockoff, just an all-around good option. And then Zen Headbutt, just in case. Very interesting also, the Glimmora running Terra Flying, most likely to dodge any ground coverage, should we see any. Yeah, pretty standard stuff from Ulico here.
Yeah, I think the Terra Steel on Urshifu in particular is going to really have to be used carefully. Of course, it gives you an immunity to Dire Claw, which is a very volatile move, but it also makes you weak to fighting, so you better hope you're getting that Tailwind up, or you're going to have no chance of taking out that Cyb3r before it just kills it.
Yeah, although with Unburden, Cyb3r might be able to just outspeed it even in Tailwind.
Right.
should be an interesting match. Ulico, of course, undefeated.
All right.
Cyb3r looking to take him down a peg.
Oh, shoot. The match has started. Okay. It looks like we had leads of Sneasler and Iron Moth against Jugulus and Raichu. So, of course, you've got the fake out threatening here on turn 1. And so I assume we're going to see a Tailwind coming out. But it could be a Snarl also to maybe call out a Meteor Beam. We see the Protect there.
From Sneasler. And a fake out into Iron Moth. So no moves connecting on the other team from Cyb3r here.
Gotcha, just goes for the Air Slash. So correctly called that the Iron Moth would not protect, but did go for the Air Slash into the protecting Sneasler slot. So pretty uneventful first turn, but now we're going to see some threats start to come out.
Very much
I think
so.
Nuzzle has the potential to be really strong here against Sneasler.
Yeah, a Nuzzle plus Tailwind combo will most likely shut any chance that Sneasler has of outspeeding Ulico's team.
Yeah, so of course you do have to contend with the big threat that is Iron Moth. You know, it probably has a good shot of just one-shotting the Jugulus with a Meteor Beam here, but I think you might be willing to make that trade if you can get the speed advantage over Sneasler.
Yes, Ulico does switch out the Iron Moth into his Urshifu Rapid Strike.
Okay.
Dire Claw goes in the Raichu, almost knocking it out. And then Nuzzle into Iron Moth.
Interesting choice. Maybe predicting a switch in the Sneasler slot, but we are going to see the Meteor Beam come out here. And hit into the Urshifu, so good switch there. Wow, it took that very well. It is resisted, but that's a strong move.
Even at a +1, Meteor Beam is still 130 base power, so that's going to take a chunk out of anything that it hits.
Yeah, Urshifu's in a very strong position here to just take out this Iron Moth.
Very much so. This Iron Moth is a sitting duck, unfortunately, for Urshifu's Rapid Strike. There's no way for it to protect in front of it, of course, because of Urshifu's Unseen Fist ability. So it's really either up to Sneasler to do something about it, or just switch out, or let it go down. That's also a potential option should Cyb3r see fit.
Oh, tries to call maybe a switch or something there with a Detect.
And then
we do see the Raichu
knock out Raichu.
And we do see the Parahex, but it doesn't end up mattering because Raichu's already gone, so.
I'm interested to see what Ulico will switch in here, whether it'll be the Iron Jugulus back in or maybe revealing his 4th Pokemon for the game. Oh, and it is once again just the Iron Jugulus coming in.
Yeah, with the threat of Nuzzle gone, really assuming that Rillaboom is in the back, Sneasler's able to just run away with the speed at any moment.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see a Terra here if Ulico is scared of a Dire Claw, but...
And if, Cyb3r might call that and just go for the close combat anyway. I mean, it probably has a pretty solid chance of killing from this range anyway, but we do see the switch.
The Glimmora is Ulico's last Pokemon for the game.
Okay, we get a Protect there. Both players really trying to just scope out the situation. There's the Tailwind.
And then we see a Psychic, the Payapa Berry coming in clutch for Glimmora. It would have gone down if not for that berry, so very good call from Ulico.
Okay. So yeah, Tailwind goes up. So interesting position here. We do see the Rillaboom in the back, so that is an option if it's needed. But it looks like we might see a switch.
Yeah, I wonder what Iron Moth will do here, given its unfortunate paralyzed position.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just kind of waiting to die at this point, and it seems like Ulico's taking advantage of that by just kind of ignoring it. But we did see it get punished with the Psychic last turn, but maybe this turn we just see an Earth Power into that slot.
Okay. In comes the Weirdeer for Cyb3r. Intimidate, unfortunately, doing not too much on both of these special attackers.
Okay, Spiky Shield there.
And Air Slash into what was the Sneasler slot. Still doing a good chunk of damage to that Weirdeer. And then, of course, the Iron Moth moves just bounces right off that Spiky Shield.
Yeah, we do see the Scarf on Weirdeer, but with the Tailwind up, I'm not sure how many turns are left, but it is going to be outsped. It's not too threatened by anything, but I imagine Glimmora could take it out.
Yes, I believe there are 3 turns left of Tailwind, so for the time being, that Weirdeer is most likely outsped by both of Ulico's Pokemon. I would not be surprised to see a double target into the Weirdeer slot due to it being Choice Scarf, but we do see an Earth Power knocking out Iron Moth. That is
finally
the first Pokemon from Cyb3r's team taken out so far in this match. And then a Sludge Bomb, a second KO onto Weirdeer.
Double knockout, that's huge, but we do have this combination in the back of Rillaboom and Sneasler that can, of course, always just run away with games.
Yes. Also, to note, no Terra used by either player yet. Of course, this is a Terra Captain League, so only Rillaboom can Terra from Cyb3r's side. And a Terra Fire could be used to not take a super effective Sludge Bomb from that Glimmora.
Yeah, interesting to see no Moltres from Cyb3r. Moltres has been so strong this season.
Yeah, I'm very interested if he intends to leave that in the back for the rest of the set. We'll have to wait and see for Game 2. The Unburden does activate for Sneasler, though, most likely allowing it to outspeed everything on Ulico's side, although I guess we will have to wait and see if that is truly the case.
Okay. Yeah, there's the threat of Fake Out on the field. But, of course, Iron Jugulus does not have Protect, so looking like it might need a Fake Out, or maybe it'll switch there.
Well, the Iron Jugulus does have a Covert Cloak, so unfortunately the Fake Out will not do anything to it. But
that's true. But it does allow you to safely Fake Out the Glimmora and just attack with the Sneasler there.
Unless, of course, the Glimmora does hit that Spiky Shield, which we do see come out. A close combat from Sneasler does over half to Iron Jugulus, but is not enough for a KO just yet.
Yeah, big Air Slash coming through here. It is going to pick up the knockout.
Yeah, just Rillaboom left. I'm not sure if it can take the 1v4, although now it is just a 1v3 with the Iron Jugulus going down.
Yeah, and I actually think it's not in too bad of a spot here with the Assault Vest and Terra. It might be able to survive a Sludge Bomb or two. And, of course, it does threaten the Urshifu with Grass moves. So, yeah, it's very much doable.
As well. So, potentially we could see the Rillaboom outspeed the Glimmora or Urshifu, depending on their EVs.
That would take a really fast Rillaboom, but it is possible.
Anything is possible. Unfortunately, though, the combination of Surging Strikes and Sludge Bomb will hit Rillaboom for super effective, whether it terrestrializes or not.
Of course,
and we
there's
still
the
have yet to see the
option.
Terra come out from Ulico, so he can always Terra Steel that Urshifu and resist the Grassy Glide that he could suspect to come.
True. So we've got a lot of guessing games going on here. Opting not to Terra the Rillaboom.
We do see a Terra from Ulico, making the Glamora Terra flying.
Not what I would have expected.
I mean, the Glamora now resists or is immune to all of Rillaboom's moves, so...
Oh my goodness.
And that's Sludge Bomb,
Okay.
even
Yeah.
through the Assault Vest. Wow.
And
That was
no detect.
75%.
No detect on the Urshifu means that we are just going to see the Rillaboom go down on this turn. So that's game one. Pretty strong showing from Ulico there.
Yes. Only losing one Pokemon. Oh, no, losing two. He lost the Raichu as well.
Yes.
But Urshifu and Glamora proved themselves to be the hard hitters that we know them to be.
Yeah, and ultimately, Nuzzle adding a lot of value by kind of disabling that Iron Moth early on. And the Tailwind was big too. Wordier was basically useless.
Yeah, the Weirdier unfortunately did not get to move once before it was taken out. So I would not be surprised if Cyb3r adjusts for this next match and brings the potentially Pachirisu or Moltres instead.
Yeah, both good options in this matchup as well.
Yeah, the Pachirisu, especially with that Rocky Helmet, can just deal so much damage to Urshifu should it launch a Surging Strikes into it.
Yeah, Ulico does have a lot of ground type coverage across the team, but it's still so strong into Raichu and Urshifu that it might be worth bringing, and you just have to play a little carefully with it.
Yeah, the Typhlosion also did not come, which looked to be decently strong into Cyb3r's team, hitting everything for at least neutral besides that Iron Moth. I wonder if we will see that come out in the second game potentially.
Yeah, and with the Assault Vest, I was thinking maybe Rillaboom would be able to live in Eruption, but after how much that Sludge Bomb did, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if an Eruption can just take it out, although it does have Terrafire to end up resisting it, which would be very important.
Yes.
Same with the Moltres with the Terra Water.
Yeah, Fire's definitely risky with, of course, Urshifu and Lamora running around, but the water on Moltres looks pretty strong, and it's so specially bulky.
Yeah, I think the only thing that can hit the Moltres for super effective should it Terra Water is just the Serena and Raichu. Although the Serena most likely will just take a few air slashes from that Moltres due to it being.
Yeah, Serena actually looks very strong into Moltres, but
okay, very different lead here. You see the Moltres and Pachirisu from Cyb3r complete the two mons that he left behind in the first game. And then another Raichu lead from Ulico, this time with Glamora instead of that Iron Jugulus.
yeah, the big threat here is, of course, Follow Me and Nasty Plot, but with the fake out pressure from Raichu, kind of forced to protect or, not hinge your whole play on that and try to do something with Pachirisu here.
And the Glamora does not have Meteor Beam, so it cannot boost for free in this turn. So if a Double Protect does come out, this most likely will be a very neutral turn.
And there you have it. Let's see what we get from Ulico's side. Fake out.
Into Moltres, stopping a potential Nasty Plot, of course. And then Earth Power into Pachirisu.
Once again, a pretty uneventful turn one. We do get a little bit of information, kind of what each player wants to do, but I think this turn, you're pretty safe to just go for that Follow Me and Nasty Plot play.
Yeah, that Raichu. If Pachirisu follow me's, that Raichu eventually, pretty much cannot do anything with both of its attacking moves, besides Fake Out, of course, being Electric type. So it will activate that Volt Absorbability. Glimmora does have more flexibility, though, with 2 options to hit both of those Pokemon for super effective.
Right.
Do you see the Raichu into the Iron Jugulus?
Into Jugulus. And another switch from Cyb3r, I believe, into the Rillaboom. Okay.
Most likely expecting an Earth Power into that slot. We do see the Earth Power go into the Rillaboom.
That is correct.
And it bounces off that monkey.
Great call. We do get a special defense drop.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see. I'd be curious to see how much an Air Slash from Jugulus will do now, but you do get the Nasty Plot on Moltres, which means it's pretty much ready to go. And also Fake Out pressure from the Rillaboom.
Yeah, only can Fake Out that Glimmora, though.
Yes.
Due to that Covert Cloak.
Yeah, and unless it's a very fast Moltres, the Jugulus will be able to act first, so maybe get a Tailwind up.
We do see a double switch back into the Pachirisu from Cyb3r. Very interesting.
Yeah, resetting that special defense drop and maybe calling out an Air Slash.
And then a Terra Water on the Moltres, looking to take a neutral hit from a potential Power Gem.
Okay. So maybe going for a flinch there.
The flinch does not connect, but the Iron Jugulus does barely hold on.
And yes, another good switch from Cyb3r there back into the Pachirisu, because that Sludge Bomb absolutely would have killed after the special defense drop.
Although now that Ulico knows the Moltres is slower than both of his Pokemon, his options are a lot wider.
Right, he could even just not bother going for the Tailwind and just attack into the Pachirisu.
Very high potential for a double attack into one of Cyb3r's Pokemon. Not needing Tailwind is very important, though, for Ulico. Just being able to outspeed all of Cyb3r's team is going to be huge for him.
So we see a Protect from the Pachirisu, and a double Protect this turn, maybe scouting for some information or a switch.
Earth Power once again, the Pachirisu.
And the Sludge Bomb. Okay. And yeah, getting the Grassy Terrain recovery.
Oh, and now that Moltres is a water type, it is grounded, so it can take the benefit of that.
Right, and that's actually very big on a bulky Pokemon like Moltres. So maybe, you know, thinking about some calc that he's trying to avoid. Like, yeah.
Potentially a double up onto that Moltres slot. But after that double protect, Ulico pretty much has free reign unless Cyb3r wants to go for the 1 in 3 chance to hit a double protect. Which is, of course, very risky. Although the Follow Me from the Pachirisu might be able to withstand both attacks coming out this turn.
Yep. Going for the Helping Hand. Yeah, I guess the only concern with going for Follow Me is you'd like to preserve that Pachirisu for Urshifu and Raichu in the back.
It does hang on after that Earth Power, though. Just barely living.
Oh! Now at +3 from the Berserk, this Fiery Wrath probably will take out both. Oh my goodness.
And it does. Oh, wow. A double knockout from Cyb3r, putting him in a very powerful position for this game. And we know Ulico has the Raichu in the back, but we will see his 4th and final Pokemon for this game. And it looks to be the Urshifu once again.
These two Pokemon, of course, very strong together. We saw earlier in this game that double protecting in front of the Raichu was what Cyb3r wanted, but it's harder to do that in front of Urshifu just because of the Unseen Fist applying so much pressure.
Yeah, and with the fake out pressure from Raichu as well, going for a protect feels necessary at times, but also, like you mentioned, with that Unseen Fist ability, it might not be the safest route for Cyb3r to take. Okay, we do see a protect from Moltres. And a fake out, not the Pachirisu, it just barely lives on. But that was combat. Oh, that is a big KO there.
But with Pachirisu still being on the field, this Raichu is now useless for as long as it's still on the field. Of course, there's Aqua Jet from Urshifu, but that's still, redirecting Urshifu away from the other potential threat that's going to be coming onto the field.
Yeah, looks like Cyb3r has Iron Moth and Rillaboom in the back, just choosing which of the two to send in right now. Both can hit Urshifu for super effective, even after a Terra, so these final few turns looking to decide the end of the game.
So he does opt to go for the Iron Moth. Got a lot of options here. Could go for a Psychic or a Heat Wave, depending on if you think Urshifu is going to not Terra, or maybe Detect. Or you could, of course, just go for the Meteor Beam into Raichu to get your special attack boost and follow me with the Pachirisu.
Yeah, going for the Meteor Beam is a fairly neutral play because you don't have to worry about calling out a Terra. Although the Urshifu could potentially just knock that Iron Moth out in one hit with that Surging Strikes.
You see the Aqua Jet there, which is going to allow Raichu to get some value out of presumably a Nuzzle here. You see the Meteor Beam. Which slot is it going to target?
Oh, it went into the Urshifu but missed. That is a massive miss this late into the game.
That is huge. Wow. That move just has a tendency to miss, especially on Iron Moth.
Well, both players are now down to their last two Pokemon. The Rillaboom cannot take a super effective hit from either of Ulico's Mons. Unfortunately, with that Nuzzle, it might just get relegated into Paralyze Hell.
Yep, and he's got a pretty safe play here to just go for the Heat Wave and Wood Hammer. This covers both the Terra Steel and not Terraing, and also you get some chip on Raichu, assuming it doesn't protect or miss.
Well, it does protect, so it will not be taking any damage this turn. A double protect, avoiding that potential fake out, which does come out, of course, into the Urshifu. Heat Wave from Iron Moth bounces off both Pokemon, protecting. And Ulico still has that Terra in the back. I would not be surprised if it comes out this turn to resist a Grassy Glide from Rillaboom.
Yeah, but also, oh no, because of the paralysis, Iron Moth is no longer the fastest Pokemon on the field, so yeah, Heat Wave would not cover the Terra, at least not before Urshifu gets to act.
The high horsepower from Cyb3r looks like a decent option to either Pokemon, because that Terra most likely will be coming out here. Although it can still hit that Raichu for super effective if he thinks that it's necessary to kill it first.
Yeah, big turn here. Will we see the Terra come out from the Urshifu?
And I wonder what his plan is with. Oh, and there's a Nuzzle.
Oh,
No Terra either. A Grassy Glide would have
Yeah.
done major damage to that Urshifu.
oh my.
That that Surging Strikes almost knocks out the Iron Moth in just one of its 3 blows. Does take up the kill on the second one though. And the Rillaboom paralyzed. Getting no damage on that Urshifu. Very good call out from Ulico there, not needing to waste Terra immediately. Although, if Cyb3r had gone for the Grassy Glide, that would have been a very disastrous position for him.
Yeah, risked it all. I guess with the advantage of having the first game already won, you can go for a risky play like that.
Yeah, and now Cyb3r needs to play the 50-50 once again of will Ulico Terra or not. And actually, looking at Ulico's Urshifu, we most likely won't see a Surging Strikes go into the Rillaboom, but a close combat does mean that it will get a defense drop. So the high horsepower might be able to take it out in one hit, and we do see the Terra.
So this game is not over at all. Yeah, due to that being the secondary effect of close combat.
See a Volt Switch from Raichu doing some damage to Rillaboom.
Putting in the work. Okay. Just gotta break through this paralysis. And it does.
Oh, that is a one-hit knockout from that Rillaboom right there.
That's all down to Raichu with these Volt Switches that we just saw are doing about 20 HP.
Yeah, this most likely will come down to a game of will Rillaboom get paralyzed or miss high horsepower. But based on that last turn, it looks like Ulico needs another like four or 5 Volt Switches to take out the Rillaboom, which most likely is not enough time. Although a Wood Hammer coming out from Rillaboom
Very risky.
could knock itself out because of that self-damage.
There's the Focus Sash.
And the Rillaboom is damaged by the recoil and takes itself out. That is an
Wow.
unfortunate end to that Rillaboom. And will give the set over to Ulico.
1 HP is all the difference.
The Focus Sash unbroken. Potentially was that I don't remember if that Raichu was damaged, but if it was, the Grassy Terrain healed it back up to full to restore that Focus Sash.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Okay, so momentarily we will have our players here for the post-match interview.
Ulico staying undefeated now with a 6-0 record.
Yeah. GG Cyb3r.
GG, sir.
Welcome
Man.
back.
That was a great set between the two of you. Came down to the wire there.
Yeah, what a game too. Just 2 huge swings in the last couple turns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yup.
So I think the first question on everyone's mind, what was the process, the thought process there in those last few turns with that Rillaboom especially?
Well, it was a lot of just calling Terra. I mean, basically, like, it's when is he gonna Terra Steel? And he got me with the first turn when he killed Iron Moth with Surging Strikes, because it was like, okay, he didn't Terra there, which was smart. Because it was kind of like a 50-50. It's like, is he gonna be worried about the Grassy Glide being able to Oko potentially, or, you know?
Yeah.
So that was a play, and then then I was like, when it was just the Rillaboom versus those two, I was like, I think I could just high horsepower for free because it's like I feel like you have to Terra there, right? You can't call it twice in a row. I mean, you can, but it's hard to do.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a read, I think, and
yeah,
you got it right in that turn. I don't know what you. Unfortunately, the turn you got full parrot. I don't know what you ended up clicking. The other thing is that every time you have to click Woodhammer, you are taking that recoil damage. Was another factor there. So I was trying to take that into consideration, but at a certain point, is like if I go steal or not is kind of gonna end up. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty close to 50-50. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the turn that Rillaboom got paralyzed was the first call with the high horsepower, and actually, like, in a weird way, the paralysis ended up working out because it didn't reveal that you were calling the steal that turn, and so you got to do it the next turn and take the KO.
Yeah, that's true. Could have been more complicated, even though, like, if I get the damage, could have been more complicated of a play. That's fair. Yeah, that last turn, I just got caught off guard by the sash because I was doing a quick calc on my end, like, shoot, like I was just being extra careful, like,
sure,
can I Woodhammer? Plus the honestly, the thing that made me forget, I think, was the terrain getting you back to full for sash.
Yeah, because
I was like, I had kind of overlooked that because I was thinking about my next play. You know what I mean? So it's like the turn's over, you're looking at your next play, and so I was like, okay, I need to make sure I do the strongest move here. And then I immediately realized, like, oh shoot, he's got sash. So yeah, that sucked.
I totally get that because I took the Rocky Helmet damage on Raichu, and I was thinking, so I was like, is it gonna be 2 turns or 3 turns of Grassy Recovery that I need to get back to sash? And it ended up being 3 turns, so I needed all 3 turns, and then. Yeah, and I wasn't sure if the recoil, because, Raichu doesn't have the high HP, so I didn't even know, like, if the recoil was going to do it. But yeah, it ended up working out. It was really close.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pachirisu, though, living on I think it was 5 HP from that earlier move. That was really impactful, because it did break that focus sash for Raichu, and forced Ulico to go for the Aqua Jet.
Yeah, that's true. That Aqua Jet turn was interesting in general because it was funny. I realized you could do the Aqua Jet play like right when I locked in. Not that it was bad for me, but I was like, oh yeah, he can totally do that. And that was just a good play by you. I remember just to clean up the Pachi because I was like, how are you going to deal with Pachirisu right now? I was like, it's a Volt Absorb Mon.
Right.
Obviously, Aqua Jet, perfect for that situation.
Yeah, I think that was my only play because my Raichu literally can't do anything in the face of it. So I think I had to go for that. I think that was the only thing I could really go for at that point, and everything ended up working out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that we thought was interesting was that Weird Ear, which unfortunately did not get to move in that first game.
Yeah.
Could you talk about a bit about that, Cyb3r, and what its role was on the team?
Yeah. So I mean, Weird Ear, I had a choice of going Trick Room, or I had a choice of making it a fast mode variant like I did. And the reason why I made it that was because I was pretty confident I could shut down Tailwind. Adrian pivoted really well game 1. So it kind of scared me away from him game 2, and I wanted to try the Moltres. But basically, like, if I can deny Tailwind, then honestly Weird Ear is pretty good because he can pressure everything with a super effective move on the team. Yeah. So it's like, and he's going to outspeed everything with Scarf. So it's pretty simple. It kind of just was Weird Ear's fast. Intimidate would weaken close combat and Serena. But Intimidate wasn't a big factor. It was just a fast guy. You can get in there and do some damage pretty much.
I think that was a good call. I was pretty scared of Weird Ear overall. I thought you might go for a Trick Room mode. I had some strategies if you ended up going for Trick Room. But overall, I knew the Psychic Pressure would be big, which is one reason I ran that berry, of course. And then,
yeah, it was a good berry.
Thanks. It almost changed to a grassy seed, but I decided it was an important berry.
I think it was really important because game 1 it wouldn't have lived, so I think that was huge.
Yeah, and the Meteor Beam was a good bring too. I didn't think you'd end up doing it, but you got me out. You called me on that because.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you'd guess that or not. I had a huge prep dilemma of if you'd run Booster on Iron Jugulus. I didn't think it made a lot of sense for you, but if you did, it would have really messed me up, I feel like, because of how I built my team.
I mean, yeah, I'd have to really call you to do that. I really like the covert, mostly not for fake out, but like Dire Claw stuff. I thought you might run Rock Slide potentially on Sneasler to take care of the Typhlosion and the Jugulus, so I want to avoid flinches like from that. And then Nuzzle is the other last thing. I thought Covert Cloak was a pretty important item to bring.
Yeah, Covert Cloak did do work. It deterred any potential fake out, of course.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it doesn't force me to bring. I don't have to bring Serena to block fake out either.
Yeah, also good into the Dire Claw.
Yeah, exactly.
And that kind of leads me to my next question. So, you did say you wanted to try Moltres, but I was a little curious. Was there a particular reason why you didn't bring Sneasler back after game 1? It felt like against Tailwind, maybe the Unburden was necessary.
Yeah, so the reason why Sneasler got dropped, and he was a close consideration, was because basically the whole game plan game 2 was like, I don't care if you set Tailwind. I'm just going to set up on you and use redirection and fake out to like just, and the bulk of Moltres to just kind of live past the Tailwind turns. And I think it kind of worked out because, I mean, Adrian didn't set Tailwind like game or turn 2 or 3. He chose to go offensive with Jugulus, which I think makes a lot of sense because he needs to break through like the Pachi as quick as possible. And so I didn't think Tailwind was going to be an issue. So I just kind of chose to play around Moltres, and then Iron Moth is just there because I mean it's fast enough, like in and outside of Tailwind world where it's going to do damage. The last Pokemon was between Rillaboom and Sneasler, and I chose Rillaboom because I felt like he has a bit more utility overall.
Yeah, if I can comment that a little bit, like I think you switching to the Moltres centric plan was really good game 2 because first of all I knew my team was a little bit Moltres weak, especially because you had that clear amulet, so I couldn't snarl. What I brought was my like anti-Moltres stuff, to be honest. Like but it still like wasn't even that like you still could have very easily won with that. Because I called it, but like didn't really call it because I don't know the Pachi, all those protects were good, and you gave me some turns where I could have tail. Like there was one turn you don't protect. I was like, oh, I think I could have tail in that turn, but at the end of the day, that would only help for the guys in the back, right? Like which. Like behind you, and then I really got. I mean, I got that position right, like you said, where I could close combat through the protect, which is really nice for me. To finish off that Moltres, that was a big, that was a good position for me. That doesn't usually come up in your Moltres setup situations.
Yeah, with the fake out. I mean, you positioned well for that. Not much I could do there, so I just,
Yeah.
One thing that we thought was interesting as well during the first game was that Terra flying on the Glamora coming out. I mean, it made sense after because that Rillaboom could not hit it afterwards.
Yeah, there was a couple considerations. At the time, I didn't know there was a chance that the Rillaboom was actually faster than my Urshifu. If he ran max speed Jolly Rillaboom, he would have outsped my Adamant Urshifu. I just wanted to make sure there was no way a Grassy Glide could take out the Glamora. I would get a guaranteed Sludge Bomb off because I am faster than the Rillaboom. So I thought I could always win if I got the guaranteed Sludge Bomb off, even if, he calls me with the, something crazy happens. I think like the Sludge Bomb plus an Aqua Jet or whatever would probably like work out usually. Or something.
Yeah. I think the Grassy Glide did kill, by the way. I don't know for sure your bulk, but I think
I have a little bit of bulk, but you're saying without the Terra, I would agree. I think, or into the
Glamora. Yes.
Yeah, I would probably agree. It most likely.
Yeah, I would hammer. I don't know if I didn't get to move, but you
didn't get to move.
I would hammer that turn because I knew you were gonna Terra there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Good call out. Unfortunately, that Urshifu and Glamora combo was just too strong into that final Rillaboom.
It's very good. Yeah, Adrian's got a very good team.
Thanks. You have a good team too. Well, I said this lots. I don't know. I think most people can quote me on this. I think you're one of the best teams. I really like the way you built your team. I think it's like a good balanced kind of style that's different than some of the other teams. And I think in the changes, I think are even better. So I do
appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean it was a very close set overall. I think if that last turn had been a bit different, we very much would have seen that game 3. Who knows what could have happened there?
Definitely.
Yeah. There's it definitely wasn't over with the high horsepower like in my favor. But
right.
I don't know. There's definitely some odds there you could run where it's definitely not 100%. It's definitely closer.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a mischance. There's another para. I mean, there's more to the game, but yeah.
Potential for like 5 pairs in a row.
Sure.
And anything is possible in Pokemon.
Facts.
Yeah, I know I'm totally unbiased, but I'm also a big fan of Cyb3r's team.
Nice.
Very cool.
Hey, Moltres Brothers unite. Me and you.
Hey, the best Pokemon in SBL history.
Joel, shout outs Joel.
He might be watching. I told him to watch.
Shout
I
out
was
Shrug
pretty.
at Peoria.
True.
I was pretty hyped about the +3 Fiery Wrath.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
Dude.
double knockout was.
Well, the thing
was
is, I was
awesome
even with
play.
the helping hand. I was like, I'm screwed either way because if I get an attack off into the guy, I will put him berserk, and it will be a +3. Like I'm like, I'm not living this no matter what.
I was really worried you might just call the helping hand. I get it makes it like I sat there for quite a while picking because I was like, "There's no way you call it," but like if you
But
were really him,
what
you'd
else can
call
I
his-
really? What else can I really do? I can't.
Well, you
I mean,
could
like,
you could air slash sledge bomb. I think that would kill Moltres.
double
like-
into the Moltres. Jeez.
I know you'd have to be a lunatic to do that. but I was kinda scared.
maybe I'd like snarl sludge bomb or something to get the chip or something, but it wouldn't matter. Yeah, I don't know. I know you're clear and real.
I mean, the snarl unfortunately would have just hit that clamulet. But,
yeah, I'm for the chip. Damn it. Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Very good set overall, though.
Yeah, and honestly though, your game one pivots were really nice because, I mean, you only planned so far into the games, and like I planned into a very good lead into
Yeah.
your lead, but
Yeah,
you
get
pivoting
the
was
very
good.
big lead advantage. And then even when I switched
Yeah.
to the Urshifu on the meteor beam, it's like, man, I'm still taking 45%. It's like,
Which was kind of nuts, but yeah.
yeah.
No, you had because I planned for that lead, but your play was just better because the way you swapped was good, and then you called the no protect on the moth with that earth power later on. So yeah, you were able to get tailwind up is the main thing with like
Yeah.
a very anti tailwind lead.
I had to dig my way out of that one, but yeah. Alrighty.
All right.
Yeah.
So thank you to both players for putting on a great match, and that's going to be it for Week 6 match of the week.
Yeah, we got Week
who's
7,
playing next week?
Robbie versus Richer.
Robbie versus Richer. So
Battle of the R's.
come back next week for that one.
Alrighty.